Just got real
Stale
hip
ears.
to YB and Corday.
He said y'all got
Yeah,
stale.
stale ears. No, man. I just been busy. I've been busy. I got excuses. My excuses are valid. Don't try me. Anyway, I listened to YB and Corday recently. Listened to that album.
That's what you said.
Finally,
that's what you
that
came
was
with us.
fire.
yeah, but I've been hitting that,
This
man.
is a
It's
new
been
week.
going,
He said
dog.
this is a new
Been bumping that.
This is a new week.
Bumping a lot of dance hall this week, though. For real.
Okay.
Bumping a lot of burner.
I feel I've been. That's Afro beats.
Yeah, I've been bumping a lot.
I've been
of
in my Afro beats playlist.
Take over.
Maybe I'll drop that playlist one day on the head top.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
The AT playlist go. You got my playlist?
I think so. I do.
Appreciate that.
Most
Much
def.
love.
Most def.
That means a lot. I'm doing decent on Spotify.
He's like, what?
Update the 15th of September.
It's coming soon.
Every month, Willie B, are we live?
Bet.
I sent you that new ASAP video.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, you did. You did.
Daze Unscripted, y'all. What's going on?
Chilling.
Locc, AT, Willie B, Twice Toasted
What's
is our
good?
guest for today's show. How are my fine brothers feeling today?
I'm alive, my G.
Yes.
I'm here, man. I cannot complain.
The weather has shifted. Summer has ended. You can tell the weather feels like it.
Don't tell me that, man. Don't tell
How
me
you
that.
I'm
feeling?
fantastic, man.
You
Feels
alright?
like, yep.
Just killed the regular podcast. Check that out. Soon come. It's Willie B. What's going on, brother? How you feeling over there?
Hi.
Every
What's
time.
good?
Hi. Per usual, let's get straight into it. Music for the week. What have we been bumping? Start with our guest. What you been listening to?
I've been listening to St. John, actually.
St. John.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
I tried to get them hip to the St. John project. I've listened to it a few times. I need to give it a few more listens before I call it. I like that track with A Boogie a lot.
I
The
definitely
A
feel that,
Boogie
yeah.
track is probably the best.
Got you.
That or the
Yeah.
Meek joint that dropped early. That was like one of the singles.
The one with Lenny Kravitz?
Yeah.
That was fire. I think it's called Borders.
Mhm.
That's different. And pulling Lenny on a trap song is kind of what got me on a trap album. That's different.
That's pretty hard, man. St. John is one of those new artists I feel like it's gonna be
bubbling.
around for a while. You know what I
most
mean?
def.
Seeing them get the nod on the Lion King soundtrack as well with that Beyonce track is just shows, you know what I mean, that other artists are seeing his worth as well, man.
What you been bumping?
Man, I've been bumping a lot of stuff I was bumping last week. I was just catching some heat for that. All right. Bumping some of the same stuff I was bumping last
I'm
week.
telling
You know what I
y'all,
mean? Bumping the
this
Lost
is
Boy.
supposed to be a music podcast.
But I've also been bumping a lot of that Burna Boy, man. Burna Boy album is crazy.
African Giant, that's
yes,
nice.
African
and that's
Giant, man.
I think end of the year we're gonna, in my opinion, top 5 of the year
Hey,
from all genres.
Yeah.
right now,
Potential.
looking at it right now at this point of the year, yeah, I definitely gotta give him. He's in that high point at least, like, and then at
From
least
a
top 3.
world
So
standpoint, yeah,
even
that's the
even top
sound.
2,
Steph.
even top 2. But dude definitely got it. Been bumping that, man. Seeing that take over for real. You know what I mean? Afro beats, I feel like it's the future, dog. People catching up, and people been trying to slowly catch the wave for the
And
past
I think
like 2
again,
years.
that's what we said on the show earlier on the podcast. Like, where is it like blurring the lines? Obviously, people like Drake, Sway Lee, those French, they have tapped into that sound. Like, where is it like where you're like, all right, you're just
It's
biting,
like, yeah, that's a
and where
different-
is
it's
it
a
like
different culture.
authentic?
Yeah, most def,
Exactly.
most def.
So it's kind of like it's difficult to distinguish, obviously, because it's becoming like I guess that's kind of what happened with pop and rap at first, right? So
Yeah.
it's like what is really
Once rap became pop, you see people like an Eminem come out. You're like, man, is that real hip hop? Like, yeah, it's real hip hop. It's just like it's a different type of face. So it's like
right,
I don't
yeah,
know.
Absolutely,
But-
absolutely. You do have to feel like you said, if it's a different face, you attach a different kind of name to it.
Definitely.
And I think as long as you kind of point back to, this is where I got
I
my
was
inspiration.
inspired,
Yeah,
yeah.
inspiration. Like that is important to me.
and obviously the people who originated that, the Burner Boys, even we talked about it in the reggae dancehall scene as well. Like they appreciate that, whether they're biting or not. Like at least y'all
Pushing.
accept and at least push the music a little bit more further. So, Willie, what you been bumping, man?
I've been bumping this book by
Bump it. You've been bumping a
This
book,
book.
audio book at
By
least.
who?
That's
You
dope.
said by who?
book by David Epstein. I mean, I've been reading it too. It's called Range. It's a really great book. I'm trying to finish it up tonight.
Give me a
and, start
synopsis.
My next book. The book pretty much
Willie hasn't
discusses
bumped.
the.
Well, hold up. Willie hasn't bumped music in 3 weeks. Have you listened to music?
He been naming books every week. Yeah,
That's
facts.
wild.
No, I actually haven't been listening much to music.
That's why he just talking about finance and self-investment. That's why he on his tip right now. Pause.
But yeah, Range is a book that goes through many different instances of people who exercise breadth over depth when it comes to career choices, and people who have used knowledge from unrelated facets of life to trigger advancement in certain industries in which they work, whether it comes to volunteer work or chemistry, biochemistry. Another one is the instance of how people use skills learned in the military to advance themselves in careers outside of the military,
like civilian work and stuff like that.
You say that?
Like civilian work and stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's kind of a and the book I think is right on time for me, is because it's kind of like, well, what have I done in unrelated careers before I've gotten to where I am now, and how can I use that to advance how I function now as far as how I'm trying to move forward in life, as far as making myself a more valuable person in my workforce.
I hear that. That's really interesting,
amazing.
man.
I'm all about transferable skills. Like,
Right,
that's
man.
kind of one of the biggest, values my parents kind of instilled in me. It's like, yo, if you're gonna get good at something, make sure it's something you can do in multiple, domains.
That's legit, man. I mean, I see that a lot, even in like my real job. This is not my real job, people, but I got a real job, and in my real job, I see that a lot, man. I got a small team, and everybody has their own background, their own expertise. You know what I mean? It's a small team, about 8 to 9 people, and we all got our own little bit we bring to the puzzle. But like, you know what I mean? Those small pieces from crazy experiences in the past, from different parts of the company or different jobs they have had, you know what I mean, gives them a different level of understanding now when they get to encounter new information and try to apply that to their life. You know what I mean? So that's definitely a good point to make, man. Again, that's Range by David Epstein.
Best
Peep.
song you'll hear about all week.
Right, dog. Yeah, bump that. bump that.
It'll get you on that Willie B level
Yeah,
of self-knowledge, self-inspiration.
But back to the music. Hey, we was talking about this stuff earlier, man.
What's been out? What has dropped?
We was
I
talking.
think Her dropped a new project. Common.
Common?
Sir
Yeah,
dropped
Common
a
dropped
project.
Love
Lil-
Itself, I think it's
Lil
called.
Tecca.
Lil Tecca dropped.
Yep.
Who else
Ja
dropped?
Cure dropped.
Who?
Joel Ortiz dropped.
Oh,
Joel
damn, he's still
Ortiz.
dropping?
I listen to Kyle.
Conscience dropped. The Alchemist dropped a project.
Wait, Conscious dropped?
Yeah.
I gotta peep that.
There's 2 Jamaican albums that dropped. Ja Cure.
Ja Cure. That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
She got Damian Marley, Tory Lanez.
Whoa.
Jeez.
Popcorn on there too. She got.
Oh, she plugged.
Jeez, right.
She
Yeah.
plugged.
signed a VP.
That's
Yeah,
different.
she
Wow.
signed a VP.
Okay.
What's her? How you spell
Made
that?
it work.
Ja, like regular spelling.
Yeah.
Cure, like a cure.
Oh, like 2 words? Oh, bet.
Let's go.
I'm a peep.
Ja Cure.
All right, but like I said, I've been bumping some Afro beats. The Afro sound has been in my ear as well.
Yeah.
Trippy's project still. I guess I'm not really listening to nothing
project.
new.
Talk-
Talking mess about me, bro. All right,
I've been
man.
listening to the Jaden project. I don't know if y'all got into that.
Yeah,
Eric.
it was all right. He was. It seemed like he was just trying to do a little too much. So there's parts like, I guess he was trying to do that on Sire as well, but it's just like, it's a little excessive on the other. What is it, Aries, right?
Yeah. So like few, I'm just like, for some reason it's just stuck in my head. But yeah,
The joint with
definitely on
ASAP,
that.
I
Yeah,
like.
I'm like most-
Chateau, I think it's called Chateau.
I feel like he definitely got a vibe. I feel like AT gonna come around eventually.
I fuck with Jaden. I like Jaden Smith. Willie, would you bump Jaden?
I have before.
You like him?
Yeah, like, I mean, as an artist and a human.
Yeah. Cool dude. Yeah. I feel like.
Cool.
I mean, in some cases,
Willie's
man.
met him.
Hey.
King Entertainment has met
In
him.
some cases, it's like I don't know.
Yeah, you're
I like
right
your
about
music,
that.
but like, whoa, what you doing over there? Like, I don't know. But or same other way around. You know what I mean? But yeah, you talking about the Afro beats, man. You're about that Alkaline Squash beef, man. What's up with that? I ain't even heard of Squash, and Squash got support in the streets.
Squash got. I think I got a few songs on my playlist. Star AT Swag, by the way. You can't search it, but fine. That's Squash got some features with Vibes, Cartel, and whatnot on there.
Oh, damn.
That he's been buzzing recently. He calls himself the sixth boss or sixth god or some shit like that. I don't know. But yeah, Alkaline dropped the diss
Vibes,
track.
son. Maybe that's why he's trying to diss him. He's trying to shoot for the head.
Right.
Alkaline is like the dance hall 50 Cent. This dude just try to start drama everywhere. His music is good, and then like he just be trying to start beef for some reason. Like, dude, just do your thing, bro. But Alkaline know the value and controversy. I feel like, man. It was
most
like
of
this,
it.
when I
The
first
buzz.
got hit,
Controversy sells.
I first got hit. The dude had the contacts, had the fake locks, It was like, man, that's controversial as hell. You Jamaican with fake locks. Like, what?
Andy was bleaching. Look,
skin
remember
bleaching,
he
bro.
was. Remember he looked mad pale.
Yeah, he was on
What
some.
video is that he looks like a? Damn, what is that? I don't remember. One of the videos.
It was off that. It was off that. I can't remember the name of the album.
That's like Trippy. Trippy Red's one of those.
Yeah,
like,
that's.
he looked like an alien.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know what's
different.
going
I
on.
He
don't
got
know.
face
Bro.
pads. He like
Yeah, it's
he like
people say
off white.
Yeah.
People talk about him being from Canton. I'm like, yo, I think he's giving Canton a bad rap because I've been to Canton and like I don't know if that's what I would.
My
equate
homie
with.
DC used to say he none of his homies.
The
know him.
homie, I got a homie from Canton in the streets, and he said he ain't seen Trippy, bro. He don't know no Trippy. Dog, he ain't never heard Trippy. So I'm like, okay. I just lost it.
He
at
the
that
hottest
point.
in y'all Ohio people, so I think he's the
That's what I'm
hottest
saying,
in
like,
Ohio right
I'll
now.
give you that. There's not a lot of hotness in Ohio besides Cuddy. I always put Cuddy above anybody
No,
else that's in
He
Ohio.
ain't dropped in about a year.
Cuddy dropped last year with Kiss See
Kanye's
Ghost.
whack ass
And I feel like if anything, I was
He's
more
Kanye.
in my mind. I was more of a Cuddy
Yeah,
album than a
yeah,
Kanye
yeah.
album, you know.
No,
So
I definitely feel you on
I'm not-
that.
I mean,
But Cudi
I
don't
never
need to
was
drop.
A Cudi fan, really.
Cuddy, well, you ain't hip. Cuddy don't need to drop. So
I saw him perform in Cleveland,
Man.
and it was wild because he started on time, like right on time. That was the first thing I was like, that's weird. Like nobody ever starts a
Do you
concert
understand
on
how
time.
messed up that is?
Yeah.
That your
course.
expectation is that
Right,
he doesn't
yeah.
start on time?
Yes, man.
said, "Why are you
that is-
surprised?"
Yeah, like that's been my biggest complaint. Like I noticed that I am surprised when I'm gonna just say it, black artists start on time, and I'm like, that's weird. I should not be like, oh wow. Like I think
Yeah.
we need to do a solid
Standards,
15
man.
years of starting on time. So like that whole
Right.
so
So
that
it
whole
goes
stigma
away,
of
yeah.
like, oh,
Kill the
CP time.
misconceptions.
Like CP time means like you're starting on time now, but nah. 15 to 45 minutes late should not be considered.
Will he be
Dude,
the
yes,
king of
15
entertainment?
seconds.
Racist?
hours
Wait,
late
let me
is
come
considered
back.
CP
Or
time.
or you can be Lauryn Hill and be 3 days late. But no, seriously,
Right.
it's just like that stigma needs to be like
Maximum.
demolished by us just being on time all the time. On time all the time. And I'm not on time all the time, but I need to be.
I definitely feel that. I feel
together
that.
big
I was
community
gonna
on
say
time.
the part that blew me back though was it ended on time. And that's the weirdest thing about a concert when people are vibing. Like all of a sudden it was over, and I'm like,
Well,
he
damn.
really just walked off the stage as quick as he got on. So it
That's
was
still messed
amazing,
up.
but like I was expecting to go more, like an encore. You know what I'm saying? So that whole aspect, I feel like was
Well, maybe because he started on time. He was like, man, it's over kind of early. Usually it would have been like an hour and a half set or an hour and 15 minutes
because,
set.
yeah.
And you're
Because
like,
they were late
oh,
start.
we started on time and not 2 hours late. So I'm actually leaving at 11 o'clock.
But I also think that's really. But
Nah,
think
messed up.
about that. That's really odd. Also, like, why would you expect somebody to do more? Do you go to a restaurant and be like, "Wow, this food is reasonably priced
feel that.
and really fantastic. Can I have more?" Like, I'd be like, "No."
I mean, in a lot of
I'd be like,
cases,
"No,
though,
why would you have more food and you're enjoying it and this is great? Like, no,
pay more.
like, pay more. Like,
Yeah, but I
like,
mean, in
artists
this case-
should really do that. Like, oh, y'all want 15 more minutes? Everybody just $15 more.
But I mean, in this case, though,
Yo, that makes sense, but the word encore for me, as somebody who comes from the rock culture, where I actually like have been to more, I guess, not urban concerts, that's just part of the culture. So it's almost like we're letting the business aspect and
Kill
franchise
off,
the culture.
yeah.
It's
They
like,
usually-
yo, that
They
for
usually
me.
fix it into the set though. Like they walk off the stage. Like so, if somebody's set is from 9:30 to 10:30, they walk off at 10. 11, 10:09, something like that. And you're like, and everybody's like, yeah. And they're like, you want another one? I'm like, they planned this in the set. Like their set is still an hour.
and this
Like,
dude worked behind the scenes, man. I feel like he's sharing some personal experience here. But I do feel what you're saying, though. You know what I mean? Especially with somebody like Cudi, you go and you're like, man, this guy feels his music. You know what I mean? If he feel the crowd's energy, he would continue. But you think about it, dude could have been just tired. You know?
Oh yeah, most of that.
So it's a lot of these
especially
girls going
with
to
all
it.
the mental health kind of awareness about his situation going on.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I definitely understood, like why it happened
Yeah,
after the fact.
that makes
But I
sense,
was just
yeah.
kind of thrown off. I'm just like, oh, okay. So for me,
That
it
whole
was
experience is
abrupt.
kinda
Yeah, it was
off,
like a
though.
red flag that later on I went and kind of Googled what he's been going through.
I feel that.
So
yeah.
I was like, as much as it wasn't inconvenient or, to somebody who's a true
Yeah,
fan, it's like,
yeah.
yo, when am I ever going to be, this close to this dude? Like 5 more minutes would change my life kind of thing.
Yeah, I
So if you're
definitely
in
feel
that
that.
kind of mindset and like, again, somebody that calls themselves, a rock star or like this, that, the other, you're now part of the rock star culture.
I feel that.
And once
certain
you
things
kinda,
are certain standards.
once you name yourself like that, I think you just kind of have to go with whatever it is that you decide to call yourself in
I
some
definitely
instances.
feel that.
But
Definitely feel that.
eye-opening for sure.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, but like, shoot, man. I don't know. I've been seeing a lot of people live that didn't go crazy. Travis Scott puts me. That's back when he was trying to go for that record for how many encores he could do, and he restarted this song. That song Goosebumps with Kendrick Lamar. I think he broke the record that night. He had just broken it the night before somewhere else in the country, and he broke it that night too with like 30-something repeats or something, 30-something encores of this song, and it was ridiculous. I left midway through it, bro. I got to my car and I could still hear him restarting the album. You weren't there, but like, dog, it was ridiculous. It was at the Pavilion, Jacobs Pavilion, downtown Cleveland. It was ridiculous.
Jacobs Pavilion at Nautica.
Yeah. But man, dog, crazy. But moving on to other stuff going on in the culture, man. I don't know if you guys have peeped it. I think all of us have peeped it actually. The Dave Chappelle stand up on Netflix, man.
Sticks and stones may break my mother bones.
Yes.
Dog, it's testy.
Shout out to you making sure we don't get demonetized on YouTube.
Just trying to cut down on the cussing, brother.
Anyways,
Politically correct.
does anybody have anything they want to pull out of that in particular? Anything they want to touch on? That man touched on so many things.
I
Acceptance.
Acceptance.
A couple things. I'm gonna quickly.
Will got to outline.
Let Willie snap.
Will got to
We know
outline.
He wants to. Yeah.
One portion that he discussed is how he and this is after the actual stand-up. He met up with Daphne.
Okay.
Who?
Daphne. It was the transgender woman that was in the audience at his favorite club in, I believe, San Francisco. I'm not sure, but he says a small
When
club.
is this?
Only seats 200. This was after the stand-up.
he watched the credits.
If you continued to watch, and he talked about how he was getting a drink with Daphne, and she said because he was really upset that the one woman, that was biologically, I don't know, but naturally,
trans.
A woman. She was really offended by his jokes about rape.
She wasn't trans.
No, she wasn't trans.
This is the woman.
Daphne was trans.
Okay.
So then he had another show where he was telling trans jokes, but Daphne was laughing all through it. And so he was really confused on why the woman who was raped got really upset about the rape jokes, but the woman who was trans wasn't upset at all about the trans jokes. She actually welcomed him. And she said, Dave, after, it was just her in the small club, they were getting a drink after. And she was saying how everybody bashed him on Chappelle's show when he made fun of R. Kelly, and they said he was normalizing it so people would accept it. But she found it funny how whenever he talked about trans people, the narrative is never that he's normalizing it so people accept it. And I think it's funny how in America we make our own narrative to fit our own feelings for everything that we do. And it's like, well, if you think about it, people were just like, oh, I just can't see how he tells trans jokes all the time. I'm like, well, you said he normalized R. Kelly, so why is he not normalizing and trying to make us comfortable with transgender women just because he's telling jokes and making fun of it? And I personally got a conclusion from that. Being a comedian, you have two jobs: is either to make people aware of something, and or to make people accept something.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
it's all about that. That's what the main point I gathered from that was acceptance, because he's talking about accepting. In order to joke about these people, you have to accept them into the regular.
Or be aware of the the problem.
Same with the Michael Jackson, the R. Kelly stuff. They did it. Live your life. Go do your own thing. Go focus on
Doesn't
what
matter.
you gotta focus on.
Doesn't matter, man.
But
that's the part
to talk about things that are not necessarily acceptance, this is where I go to the awareness facet. If I'm joking about the Amazon being burned, I'm not trying to make you comfortable with it. I'm now bringing it.
You better be aware.
I'm bringing it to your
if we can't breathe anymore, it's because they burnt off that. You know what I mean?
But hopefully, in my jest of me joking about the Amazon, you now go look it up or you go see what.
So you say
so you can form your
so you're
own
saying you
decisions.
either you're trying to spark acceptance or spark change or spark action, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
Because you're in that case trying to make them comfortable with something or make them or uncomfortable with something so they can do something about it. You know what
That's
I mean?
why I just
So-
say aware because after you're aware, it's up to you.
And
But
that's
if
the
you
real
are-
correlation between being aware and overall acceptance, I think. In order to be aware, you have to accept that circumstance or that reality.
Yeah, there is no
So-
awareness without
Yeah,
acceptance. So.
So
Mm.
that's
There's no
the
true
main
awareness,
point. Y'all
at least.
gather anything else? Willie kind of had his outline written
No,
out.
that was nice, man. I just that comment he made about Michael Jackson being dead for a while, but having 2 new cases,
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
kind of
it's
threw me back.
ridiculous.
I'm like, that's the culture that he said comedians are living in, you know, where it's kind of dangerous. And he was like, I'm only up here
Anyone
until
famous,
like
really.
you guys figure out what I did in my past that's gonna get me kicked off of Netflix. Pretty much, like, I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's
that's
that
wild.
cancel culture.
I mean,
yeah.
dude, like
That's wild.
and comedians is so funny because they live by the sword and die by the sword. You're literally famous because of how wild and chaotic and crazy you can be, but then they tear you down for being wild and crazy and chaotic in general. You know what I mean? For saying something off the wall. It's like, well, you're a comedian. That's what you do. You know what I mean? You always push buttons. That's what you're here to do. You know, that's what you get paid to do. So it's just, I don't know, it's surprising a lot
Some
of stuff.
people
goes
take
down
life
like
a
that.
little too serious sometimes too. I think that's what it comes down to. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's with the Louis C.K. joke. That's kind of what he
Oh,
said.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, the
all right,
most
bro, dude, without his like, yo,
He said, how threatening is a man with that on the stomach just laying.
you know how that feel?
He said pancake
You know how
butter.
depressed you are? Yeah. You know that feeling? Willie B, dude.
Another thing is, are you talking about the masturbation fast? Yeah, that's why I have a myriad of toys. So anyway, another thing that I thought was really eye opening is the comments he made in regard to Kevin Hart, and he said Kevin Hart's dream, he was like, was to host the Oscars, and he was like, and people took that away from him.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny how we paint people in the light in which we know them. And it's funny, I saw something on some social media, and I'm paraphrasing at this point, but it's kind of like some people will only judge you based on what they know of your past because you haven't given them access to your present. So it's kind of like people, like, I mean, let's be honest, somebody dug for those tweets.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Most definitely.
No way to get it without. Yeah.
And I hate to see it. We kind of end up hopping on the boat when it's a black, celebrity, where it's kind of like, oh, well, they're wrong. And I'm like, you want to know what? We took Cosby Show off the air. We don't want to play R. Kelly no more. We didn't want to watch no Kevin Hart stand-ups. And I'm like, you guys are going to let it get to a point where there's no black culture for us to put on anywhere because we are ripping apart every negative facet about somebody that we don't like, not understanding the fact that not only are we not monolithic as people, but we are ultimately flawed as humans, period. And not all of our thoughts
Fundamentally,
are,
right.
like, not all of our thoughts are necessarily quote unquote correct. Not all the things that we say are necessarily quote unquote correct. But you want to know what? We change and we evolve as people within the short span of time that we are here on Earth, and we need to accept that and accept people for who not only they are, but who they're trying to become.
Definitely feel that.
And again, some people they also can't accept that they were wrong and just talk about that. Like,
And that's-
I was wrong.
That's something to think about with this thing we talked about earlier, man. Being able to just acknowledge someone else's path and journey. You know what I mean? To see, like, man, you know what I mean? This person had to go through this journey. They went through it that way. I didn't have to go through it that way. I didn't have to learn that lesson through a tweet. But
And also, what
know
is
what I mean?
making, like, we got to talk, if we're going to talk about that and get deep in that, like, all those people that are molesting and doing whatever, like, that's a cycle. That's like, all right, somebody molested that person before and they carried it on. And, you know what I mean? It's a cycle. They're sick in their mind. So they keep doing that. So it's got to find the cure.
How many times all right, I hate to put it like this. What's the difference between a sick person and a criminal? I mean, we determine what's right and
criminal
wrong.
chooses to make them happen, I guess you could say.
It's the
No,
same.
but based
Based
off,
on
based
the
off what
value
they
of it,
think.
like what did they do that made it? Why is that
And
wrong?
if
Exactly.
if
So
the way
that's what
somebody
you're saying.
thinks is totally messed up, and they weren't given the proper access to health care or whatever type of help that they could get, then that's the community and or society as a whole. There's a reason that a lot of these sickos are disproportionately in the United States of America and not necessarily in these other countries. There's a reason that we seem to have more mass shootings per capita.
It's like that. That's exactly what I was going to read.
Everywhere else in the world. There's a reason that we seem to have more rape cases than anywhere else in the world. And it's not because the rest of the world is hiding it. It's because the rest of the world has something that we don't, and it's a better grasp on helping those earlier on as opposed to letting the problem build up and get to a point where it's beyond repair.
Yeah.
And we need to
and it
understand
spreads
we need to
and it circulates.
a culture of maintenance and start to be proactive instead of reactive.
Every person that shoots somebody else, I guarantee that inspires like 10, 15, who knows how many other people to go have a mass shooting. There was one last night. I think
last night over in Odessa, Texas. Yeah, it was like 21 injured and 5 dead or something like that. Man, started off at the traffic stop, dude. Something simple. Wasn't even like you wanted to plan it. He got pulled over, turned up. You know what I mean? It's crazy, dog.
No wishes
that
to
type
everyone.
of stuff, like everything we've been talking about, for me as somebody who I expect to, plan a concert or something like that, where I'm going to invite people to a specific
Thousands
location.
Yeah.
If I do that, am I doing harm to the world, by bringing this collection of people who all like what I say, but may not like who's standing next to them?
Yeah.
And that's the part for me that Dave Chappelle's thing got really real. It's just like, if you're an artist and your message isn't something similar to acceptance, like, how is it that you're going to keep your fans from being themselves?
It's too
in the
toxic.
crowd? Yeah,
like that just inspires toxic behavior. That's like, look at Trump shit. Like,
especially when violence is written into a lot of these people's
Yeah,
creeds.
man.
It's like, it really, like, if you're preaching be you and that person listens, then because it's written in their doctrine, like, it's a bad outcome, I think.
I mean, we're all basically victims of something higher up, higher moving. So,
About victims, man. You look at Throcker's cousin's ex-girlfriend being a victim of domestic abuse, dude.
I do want to talk about the positives that we do see from the despair that we see in America. Enough of a negative thing makes people come to the realization of the narrative that seemed unlikely is definitely true. And and we've discussed this on this pod before, but I kind of want to do this because you brought up Trump real quick. If Trump never became president, we would have never had a mass shooting finally categorized as this is white terrorism.
I mean, do we still have that? Where do you see that we've
that
had
was blatantly said on CNN after the El Paso and the Dayton one. Like I was like, this is the first time in history that we have ever just said, you want that, like they stopped the mental illness thing. Like they stopped that. They said this is white terrorism, and I was like, wow, we're getting there. We are finally getting to a point where you have to make it get to a point where you can't.
Look at the Chappelle stand up, man. He's talking about everything we pretty much touched on.
But this is a black person saying that. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm saying we got to the point where white people have to finally say this is white terrorism.
Because we're all together. You know what I mean? Like everybody's going to school together.
Are you saying you relate that fact with the Trump presidency?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying, because it just got to a point where it's just like we're getting so much negativity from this guy, so much, and it's triggering all of this other stuff. Maybe indirectly. I'm sure it's not the most direct. I'm sure people are not like, because of Trump I'm going to kill some Mexicans. Like, I'm sure it's not that. But in an indirect way, this presidency has gotten us to a point where it's like, oh, we do not live in a post-racial society, nor are we anywhere near close to it. So we need to come to terms with the fact that white terrorism is one of the largest killers in America. And we have to come to terms with that, and we have to categorize it as such, so now that we can actually take motion towards it. Because, again, now going to the Dave Chappelle stand-up, the point of comedy is to either make you aware or make you accept something. But I think the gross amount of negative conflict and or
and that's
for
it's
lack of
spreading.
a phrase,
It's spreading.
Yeah, it's spreading. Or
like I said,
the juxtaposition of what we're seeing in culture is making us both accept how bad we are and make us aware of the change that we need to take. So that's my point on that.
I have a question. You said it's spreading, so I feel like those are two kind of opposing ideas, because one, if it's spreading, that means we're kind of going back in time. And then if it's just an issue of awareness, that means we thought we were in the future and we're just realizing, we're a couple years back.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think it's spreading, or do you think people just thought we were in the future?
I think we are, you know how they say if you don't learn from history, it's doomed to repeat itself? And what you're seeing with even specials like Ava DuVernay's When They See Us, we have to take a look at the past, and then the look at the past makes us see how much in relation to our present it really is.
Okay.
And it then gives us the, for lack of a better phrase, the perspective or the scope that these things are so closely related and the times are far enough apart, and we should have gotten past this, and we thought that we've gotten past this, but we haven't. Therefore, what has happened has spread larger in culture because there's more people in America before now than it was in the 80s. And
it's more accepted. It's more normalized.
And
it's
we're more interconnected.
I don't know what to, but it's like I said,
connected.
someone shooting up people in Texas is inspiring more people to go shoot up someone other places.
And back in the day, that wouldn't happen because we were not as connected.
It wasn't as broadcasted.
Gotcha.
Exactly. So it's a little bit of both, to say the least. But it's definitely one of those things where it's sickness. Like it needs to be cured. It's spreading. Maybe we thought we pushed forward and we were free of it, but it's still there
I think
growing.
media, like broadcasting negative news, has anything to do with it?
I think it all plays a part. Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
No, I mean, it depends on it depends on which side of the coin you're looking at. Because if you take to consideration the Vietnam conflict and how it was publicized, that really got people on board of like, we really need to pull out of this entire like whole thing because like this is not what we're about. So I think the media now publicizing and the narrative being changed. On what the negativity is causing us to mobilize in the correct direction.
Media is anything we consume, though. So it's like it's one of those things. Just like we're potting for a certain niche, we could type on YouTube right now and go to KKK podcast, and someone could watch a 30-minute KKK podcast with
and feel empowered, bro. Yeah,
because there's other people, and there's other people that agree with them, and there's other people that are sharing their same thoughts, just like we're trying to do with our show. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things. Back in the day, that wasn't as likely. So I don't know. It's definitely spreading through various forms, various famous people, various just parties, organizations. It can be a lot of things. It's kind of like the same thing with the guns and everything related to it, man. It's a weird time we are living in.
Right.
It's very daisy out there. Y'all got anything else? Hell no. Y'all ready to go. Last words for the people, man. Let's start with Locc.
Much love to Tanaka, TwiceToasted, Mupinga, coming through here, being your full self on the show earlier. Y'all know y'all didn't seen the show yet. Y'all haven't seen any episodes. You haven't seen anything. Keep an eye out for that, man. Like AT say, soon come for the vids on that. So he did the freestyle snap, dude. Discussion was crazy. Definitely did a thing, man. Shout out to Willie for participating today. Going crazy on the podcast, man. Been going off, man. Of course, my running mate for the past couple years, man. Shout out AT. And everybody that tuned in. Till next time.
Yeah. T, last words, bro.
Yo, this was honestly amazing. One of the funnest things I've done in a minute. Just kind of coming here. I went through all my emotions. I was happy. I was scared. I was confused at some points. But I feel like that makes a good lasting interaction. And thank you guys for having me, man.
Not a problem. Glad we could share. Willie B.
Allow yourself to be aware of the situation in which you're currently in and accept the fact that you need to move in a certain direction to make that situation better.
Ooh.
Turn up.
You be writing these shits before. Snap on them. What was I going to say? You made me forget what I was going to say, man. That's the Daze. It's Unscripted. I feel like pivotal episode right here. Y'all seen it live and direct. Peep for the podcast. Peep for all our content. That's on YouTube, the Q brand. Go check that out, as well as our personal IGs.
Chill. Glad we could have TwiceToasted Tanaka on. He's got plenty of music, a whole catalog. Go check that out. TwiceToasted, Dreamcatcher, TwiceToasted.com, TwiceToastedTreats.com, all that. We back and busy. See y'all next time. Much love. Yeah. Chill.